Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my channel. This is your favorite metaphysician and psychic medium, Dr. D. Oracle. And today I am going to be talking about spiritual parasites and what it actually means to be spiritually bankrupt. Okay? Once again, if you like the content of my channel, please be sure to subscribe and click on the thumbs up to show that you like the video. You can also click on the little bell so that you can be notified each time I upload new videos. Now, I'm just going to get right into it because each of these cards tell a story about someone who is a spiritual parasite or who is spiritually in debt. They're spiritually bankrupt, okay? These are usually cards that come out to represent those people who are spiritually bankrupt, meaning they have no goals or no mark to reach beyond the physical. They have no higher guidance and no clues on where to get higher moral or emotional intelligence, okay? So we know that to be a spiritual person, you work to achieve a mark or a goal that reaches beyond the physical, okay? Also, there is a mark or a goal to get higher moral or emotional intelligence when we are spiritual, okay? But to be spiritually bankrupt, that is a total collapse of integrity, honesty, and decency. And it is a corruption of your connection with source and a depletion of higher life energies and psychic energies, okay? So when I say psychic energies, we're talking about energies of the mind, mental energies, okay? So that could be defined as having an attitude where you don't care about sympathizing with people. It's an attitude of not caring about trying to do what is in the highest and best interest of the people around you, okay? This comes from being fueled by hatred and contempt, okay? So when I say hatred and contempt, that is being upset because other energies have came along and have done some things to you, or it's hard for you to feel emotion because that was not something that your caregivers really tried to emphasize, okay, growing up. Now, there are some people who have some mental imbalances, okay, that end up developing some of these perspectives and types of disordered thought frequencies, okay? A lot of these people have poisoned hearts and poisoned minds. That's due to people that projected different traumas on them, okay? Different people and caregivers who have done that in their childhood, okay? And that trauma is like getting beat on or slapped around or, you know, just different types of trauma, separation, abandonment, neglect, okay? Some of it came from being projected on people by the elites, okay? And their greed, their motivation for profits, their entitlement, okay, through luxury abuse, okay? Also, it was projected on us by role models and leaders who chose to abuse us, okay? They projected those things on us with their own thought frequency or pattern, okay, that manifested in behaviors that traumatize people, or that overcompensated or undercompensated, okay, for their what they had or didn't have, okay, or for things that they lost or just were missing in their life. It was also projected abuse by role models and leaders who, people looked up to them to help them, to guide them, to show them the way, and they were actually corrupted, and so they corrupted those individuals through the behaviors that inflicted abuse upon them, okay? These people, some of these people can definitely be classified as mentally disordered, or they have their personality is corrupted, okay, by things like antisocial personality disorder, or narcissistic personality disorder, or histrionic personality disorder, or borderline personality disorder, okay? Sometimes there are other mental illnesses that we could also mention, but pretty much this equates to those who lack inner peace, okay? They spread disorder through their own dramas, distortions, and corrupted thoughts, okay? And this boils down to a person who has also been spiritually drained, okay? They've been spiritually drained by other spiritual parasites who are draining their source or our source of energy. Because this is happening at epidemic proportions, it's starting to really touch most of the population. So it's very rare that you can find anyone who's not affected by some type of trauma, abuse, or mental illness, okay? Consider this to be like a blackout or an energy crisis. The spiritually bankrupt people are poor in higher vibrations and realities, okay? They may have money, but they lack morality. They may have charm or beauty, but they have a deep void within them, okay? Where they lack empathy. They can't feel, okay? It's hard for them to feel. This equates to, if you've ever heard me talk about this on my other videos, what I call a light to darkness ratio, okay? So once you get down to like these disorders here that I'm talking about, it's like your light starts to diminish. You start to get darker and darker, and you pretty much open yourself up to be ruled by your demonic function of consciousness, okay? When you're supposed to be ruling it, you're supposed to command your demons and have them to function under your will. But in this case, your demons actually are able to overpower you, okay, and influence you more than your higher self, okay? Also, with these type of disorders, the person is actually drowning in self-pity, and I don't care what they have when it comes down to their material items or possessions. They actually feel trapped, okay? And so they're in a process of self-deception and pain, okay? And this has been caused by the world and its possessions, okay? They have disassociated from reality, and now their demonic function is hard for them to control. These people still kill and destroy by taking precious moments and time through manipulation, okay? Or they steal our resources through our giving and our desire to build bonds, and they exploit our empathy. Okay? So when you look at this, like a person like Donald Trump comes to mind first. If you notice, everybody that's been connected with him has pretty much been getting called into question, okay? So it's kind of like everyone who fools with him are now, they got sucked on by him. And so they sucked on other people. You see how that spreads, okay? So 5 signs of being spiritually bankrupt are when life has no meaning for the person outside, the physical. So at the end of the day, they're just trying to get things from people, okay? They're just trying to feel a sense of power or a thrill, okay? That's what makes them like really get something from life, because remember, they can't feel emotion. They're really disconnected from it. So they need other people outside to help feed them. So one of the ways that happens is by giving them physical gratification, okay? Sex, money, different things to make them feel comfortable, okay? And in return, that makes them feel powerful because they're able to manipulate you into giving them these things, okay? They also build bonds for power instead of love. So to play with people's emotions, that's why they build bonds, okay? That makes them feel powerful, like they have you as a puppet on a string. Or they get something from you, like I said earlier, and so it makes them feel good because it's like they can cheat you out of something without giving you anything that you deserve. They just trick you, okay? Another one, this is the 3rd sign. They are not governed by higher principles. So if you notice, it's like they kind of make rules as they go along, and so they'll keep messing up. So a person with like personality disorders, they may jump from job to job to job, or relationship to relationship to relationship, and they always blame someone else for it. And they never try to do something different or change their ways. They don't really know how, to be real honest. Remember, I said they have no clues on where to get higher moral or emotional intelligence, okay? Also, they don't seem to care about how their behavior affects other people. So they may, brag on things like how they hurt someone else, okay? But that someone else didn't realize, how they needed to respect them, okay? And when they do something to someone, they never apologize or like give them closure, okay? They don't try to help the person to get through the terrible emotions, okay? So another sign, and this is the 5th sign, is the dark triad spirits have corrupted their perception. So they only embrace like a pessimistic style of life, okay? So they feel like it's kill or be killed. Don't have any attachments, okay? They have really black and white thinking, but they go with the worst of the worst thinking, okay? And that's how they basically, filter through things. No matter what you did, they'll pick out the worst of your flaws. And they'll idealize you to manipulate you, and then they'll devalue you, okay? Because of that pessimistic side of life. They think they're going to be abandoned by you. They think they're going to be neglected by you. Because that's what happened to them when they were a child. That's what their parents did to them. And so they're still looking at you as that parent, holding you, in the same high regards as they held that parent, no matter what that parent, had done to them. But the devaluing is because that you basically echoed that wound within them, not because you personally did anything to them, but the fear of that happening to them and them losing their power. Okay, them losing their basically them losing the fact that they have an edge over you. Okay, so they do have like a ruthless and vengeful attitude. Okay, because they don't have any guidance, because they don't have any clues on where to get the answers. Okay, so you can't really expect anything from them. So when I come out with the card that says you have unrealistic expectations, it's because that's how this person is. And you're going to have to accept them like that as a spiritually bankrupted person, okay? Or you're going to have to make a choice to put up boundaries, okay? And it's hard to have peace when you are around someone like this. And it's hard to get away from them when you feel empathy, okay? Because you constantly want to help them. You feel the pain that they're in. But you can't do it. So these are probably some of the most loved people who are destroying some of the most loving people, okay? To be spiritual, as I said before, means to have a goal or mark for your life, attaining a purpose beyond the physical, okay? These people can't do it, okay, at all. And it's like they have missing soul pieces, or they're not in connection with the part of themselves that comes from source. They can't gain access to it, okay, because their demonic function of the psyche has taken over. They're corrupted. That's why they're called personality disorders, okay? It's because someone's thinking has been distorted or corrupted, and so they view that lens. When we're talking about the demonic function, they view everything through that lens of who hurt them, who was out to get them when they were a kid, what their caregivers didn't do. They are basically operating from the perspective of a small child who has been wounded. So we have to protect ourselves from these types of people because they are spiritual parasites. They will take away your joy, your happiness, your money, your ability to place someone healthy in your life, to play a relationship role. They will be rude, okay? They will be a bully, okay? Disrespectful. And you might find yourself feeling very, very trapped in the situations that they bring into your life. And it'll be hard for you to free yourself. Getting attention and admiration and feeling a sense of belonging from these people becomes a lie in your life. And you are set up to be actually addicted to that. And so a lot of people find themselves trapped in codependency, okay, with these types of people. The best thing you can do for yourself is to allow yourself to understand that they need healing. They need professional help. And if they don't get it, they'll continue to act in the negative, okay? Not in their higher self, but in their lower self. I call that Queen of Pentacles card. That's the baby mama card. Okay? But in the negative, this is some of the energy that men are complaining about when it comes to modern women. And this King of Pentacles, this is some of the energy women are complaining about when they're talking about modern men. And we all know this Devil card, feeling trapped in chains, like we can't get away in a cycle that's not helpful or healthy for us, very toxic. Or we're just walking away from everything that speaks for preserving our energy. And we're doing it for the love of money or luxury. Ladies and gentlemen, this video is about spiritual bankruptcy. You don't want to be spiritual bankrupt. And you don't want to deal with people who are spiritually bankrupt. So I want you to think about everything I've said in this video and get your boundaries together. Because right now, like I said, this is like an energy crisis or a blackout. It is at epidemic proportions that we are experiencing these personality disorders and all of the disordered and corrupted thinking that is around us, okay? Don't let that thinking influence you. Don't let it make you give up. If you need to do some healing, do some healing. But you have got to place boundaries in these people's path, or they will ravage, exploit, and take advantage of you to the highest, or to the, we should say, the lowest degrees of the material realm. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget to click on that like and subscribe button if you enjoyed this, and make sure that you are doing your shadow work. Thank you for watching.